Coming up on today's show, going to take a look at some more Eagles trade targets with the NFL trade deadline, quickly approaching right around the corner. First, though, have to give a shout out to Vincero Collective for making today's show possible. 20% off if you use the promo code CHAT at vincerocollective.com/chat. You get these exceptionally made, stylish, and affordable watches. We'll put that link in the comment section and the description of this video. So coming your way on today's show, just want to take a look at a couple of players that the Eagles can target in a trade if they decide to go all in on trying to win a Super Bowl here in 2022. Obviously, up to this point, they're the best team in the NFL record-wise, and we know that Howie Roseman is a wheeler and a dealer and an aggressive guy at heart. He's always trying to improve this football roster. These trade targets that we're going to break down on today's show, they would do just that. First, though, I do want your feedback in the comment section because I'm not content with Eagles now. Even though we've been really successful here as a channel, we want to continue to grow. We want to continue to improve. So with that, I ask you this. What do you like the most about Philadelphia Eagles now? Is it our daily videos and coverage type 1, live shows type 2, watch parties type 3, everything type 4, or is there something that we can improve on? If that's the case, I want you to let us know and be honest with us in the comment section. So trade target number 1 on today's show. It's a very familiar name and actually a player who the Philadelphia Eagles passed up on a couple of years ago in Panthers safety Jeremy Chinn. And throughout this week, we've been talking about Panthers players who could be on the trade block. The Panthers are in a precarious situation. They fired former Temple University head coach Matt Rule. There's going to be a new regime after this year, and are they going to hit the reset button, or are they banking on this roster being the roster for a new regime to get it right next year and get them back to their winning ways? If they do decide to sell and compile assets, Jeremy Chinn could be expendable. Now, the Eagles actually took Jalen Hurts at 53 overall back in the 2020 NFL draft. And a lot of people were fired up that the Eagles passed on Jeremy Chinn, who went to Southern Illinois, the Salukis, at 64 because at the time, Carson Wentz had just signed that contract extension. A lot of people didn't believe that the Eagles needed another quarterback. They thought that Jalen Hurts was going to be on the roster and really curtail the continued development of Carson Wentz after he had really led the Eagles in phenomenal fashion in that last month of the season the year prior before getting concussed by Jadeveon Clowney against the Seattle Seahawks in that playoff game. Honestly, it's ended up being a huge selection for the course and the future of this franchise, going Jalen Hurts at 53 and not going with Jeremy Chinn at 64. He did make it to the Pro Football Writers of America all-rookie team back in 2020. He is currently injured on IR with a hamstring injury, not expected, though, to be season-ending. And a lot of people thought that passing up on Jeremy Chinn was a mistake because of what he did as a rookie safety with Carolina. He was really good. Solo tackles, 89, forced fumbles, 2, really was a game changer and a game breaker there. 1 sack as you can send him home on some blitz packages, 1 pick. Gave up a passer rating of 120.2, which isn't great. Missed tackles 18, and then in year 2, he was able to improve in a lot of areas. Solo tackles went up to 91. Forced fumbles also increased too. In 2021, sacks 1, interceptions 1, passer rating went down. Missed tackles, a little bit of a concern. You'd like to see him lay the boom a little bit more often, but does have really good instincts at that safety spot. You take a look also at his Pro Football Focus grades from 2020 to 2021, and he did make some improvements drastically, really all across the board. Overall grade went up from 59 to 71.4, league average according to Pro Football Focus in that 70 threshold. Run defense grade improved exponentially from 47 to 62.5. Pass rush went up slightly. Coverage grade was also good, increasing by about 10 percentage points. And a reason why Jeremy Chinn could get traded is his contract expires in 2024. And the Carolina Panthers, if they don't have any plans to re-sign him in the future, why not maybe get some value back for Jeremy Chinn right now if he's not in the future plans? But it is a little bit of a question mark if the Eagles should trade for him, given the emergence of Marcus Epps and the solid play of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who is also looking for a new contract. Because Marcus Epps has honestly been a pleasant surprise this year, and his Pro Football Focus grades higher than safeties out there like Jesse Bates. That's how quality of a safety he's been. But let me ask you this question. Who would you rather have between these two players? Would you rather move forward with Marcus Epps or make a trade for Jeremy Chinn? I want to hear from you. Sound off, join the comment section, and share your thoughts down below. As I mentioned off the top of the show, Philadelphia Eagles now, presented by Vincero Collective. I'm rocking one of their watches right now, and with that, I got a pep in my step. I feel a little bit more swaggy and confident because I'm adding to my wardrobe in a really good fashion. All of their faces, awesome, and they also have all of these different watch bands. Right now, I'm rocking a leather one, this one, little suede with that gray, and then this one, also a really good, sophisticated look. For all the boss men and women out there, their watches are a must. They can elevate your look with a twist of the wrist, made with surgical-grade stainless steel and really, really quality products. Perfect for a day in the office or a date night out. Shoot, I was on a date recently with my girl, and I was rocking one of the Vincero watches, and the waitress that we had was like, wow, that's really nice. Where'd you get that? And I gave them the deal. It's VinceroCollective.com/chat, promo code chat for 20% off and free shipping. You can look like a baller without having to spend like one. And also, Vincero offers you a shopping experience that you can trust. And if you need to return or swap, no problem at all. Their 5-year guarantee and 365-day free return policy has you covered. From quality you can feel to style you can't deny, Vincero Collective guarantees to up your game. We'll put that link in the comment section in the description of this video. Trade target number 2. It's a tight end who, coming out of Alabama, I really like this player. We're talking about O.J. Howard. He got drafted in the first round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but has never really been able to find his footing as a player in the National Football League. Back in the 2015 National Championship with Nick Saban in Alabama, he was named the National Championship MVP. He gets drafted in the first round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I thought this guy was going to be a bona fide stud. Wasn't really a scheme fit early on. They didn't utilize him. And then he suffered, I believe, an Achilles tear and wasn't able to get going. It was with the Bucs from 2017 to 2021. With the Bills in the preseason, I like the free agent acquisition because you're thinking, okay, he teams up with Josh Allen. He's going to be able to ball out. Never happened. He got cut, goes to the Houston Texans. He was utilized a couple of weeks ago, but is kind of on the outside looking in, so he could be had at a very affordable price. His college stats in 46 games, this is why I like the player. Physical, stature, but also had pull-away speed and really special physical ability. Played 46 games with the Crimson Tide, 114 catches for nearly 2,000 yards. He picked up a first down and a half every time he got his hands on the football with 7 touchdowns. His NFL career stats, though, they have been disappointing, and there's no way around that. But what did the Eagles do? They developed tight ends really well. And it goes all the way back to Chad Lewis back in the day, at least in my lifetime. They have done a great job of developing tight ends. And they go to Brent Selleck, Zach Ertz, now Dallas Goedert. And Philadelphia utilizes that tight end position. And they could utilize a guy like O.J. Howard. 124 catches throughout his career since entering the league back in 2017. Only 17 touchdowns. And this year with Houston, in the early going, he was involved in that offense with Davis Mills. 5 catches, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. But really, as I said, his playing time has decreased the last couple of weeks. Why I also like the player, though, is how you can use him. And I think that if he were to come to Philadelphia, yes, you have Jack Stoll, yes, you have Grant Calcaterra, and, of course, Dallas Goedert, one of the best and most underrated tight ends in the NFL. But O.J. Howard as a backup, you run a little 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets with 2 really good pass catchers. O.J. Howard, as well as Dallas Goedert, that's a really good 1-2 punch at that tight end spot, and you can line them up all across the field. You look at his week 4 usage. This was the last time that he was really involved in that offense. He played 43 of 57 snaps offensively, 37 at inline tight end, 3 in the slot, and then 3 out wide. So you really can line them up all across the field. The ability is intriguing. You look at him and you say, wow, O.J. Howard is a physical specimen. And yes, Jack Stoll and Grant Calcaterra are good, but if an injury happens, O.J. Howard, as we approach the NFL trade deadline, he could be a good trade target for Howie Roseman and Philadelphia. What do you think, though? You tell me. Do the Eagles need a tight end upgrade? Y for yes, N for no. Once again, treat that comment section like a sports talk radio show, 94 WIP, 97.5 The Fanatic, and join the conversation. Lastly, Clelin Ferrell. Now, you look at his numbers this year, and he had an awful hands-to-the-face penalty on primetime against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not sure why defensive coordinator Patrick Graham had him at outside corner against Travis Kelce, but Kelce knew that and baited him in to a penalty, dipped his head, Ferrell hit him in the head, first down like that. And you look at his numbers, 4 tackles, 0 sacks, 0 tackles for loss, 0 forced fumbles, and 0 fumble recoveries. Now, I was in Nashville back in 2019 for the NFL draft when the Raiders were picking inside the top 5. And the Raiders, like the Eagles, were one of the most represented fan bases there at the NFL draft in Nashville as Broadway was just popping. I don't remember a lot of things from that weekend. I do remember, though, when the pick came up for the Raiders, I believe number 3 overall, number 4, they selected Clelin Ferrell, and everybody was like, oh, who is this guy? So it was a reach at the time, a bad pick by Mike Mayock and John Gruden. I just think there's a better player in there, though. And his usage this year with Patrick Graham and Las Vegas, he's kind of been used in their NASCAR package where he can play edge rusher as well as defensive tackle. And you have a traditional edge playing defensive tackle. Sometimes they beat the slower guards and centers with some of that quickness. If you get them into a better situation with better coaching, a more stable culture, which the Raiders don't have and the Eagles do, you could get Clelin Ferrell for a very affordable price. Now, his base salary a little bit expensive because he was a first-round pick, but I would take a swing on Clelin Ferrell because you can never have enough defensive line depth. With that, let me ask you this before we hop on out of here. Name a trade candidate that you like. It can be any player that we talked about on the show today or a different player out there. Either way, drop me a name right now.